All right, we're giving it a few minutes here to make sure everything is all ready to go here. I think my Rumble stream might be having issues, maybe. Well, there we go. Rumble is live. So I'm saying we're live anywhere. A little bit late because I had to get my self all squared away. So it's been an interesting week on the interwebs. And I got into some controversy with Remy Legal about therapy, which I didn't have on my bingo card. So I wanted to try and talk about it a little bit. So it is her position that therapy ruins women. And so, it's a new thing that has popped up, particularly in conservative circles, that I don't understand. I don't really understand how we got here, honestly. And I kind of know that it has something that to do with our view of institutions. We're not obviously we're not a fan of institutions like we used to be. When I'm talking about institutions, I'm talking about like the medical establishment is an institution, right? The FBI is an institution, and all of these different institutions are doing things that we don't like. We're not a fan of, and there's good reasons, I think, to not be a fan of some of the stuff that they do. But I believe that I am a little bit different, though, than what I feel like I hear a lot of conservatives doing. And what a lot of conservatives want to do is to throw them out with the bathwater, and I just don't think that that's what we're meant to do. I think that they can serve a good purpose, and it is up to us to figure out how to get us to a place where these institutions are truly serving the common good. And I believe that that is possible. But honestly, there are people that are smarter and more learned than I am to, and maybe wiser in some ways, to figure out what exactly that looks like and what that means. So, but what I generally end up fighting in is that we don't we don't trust them anymore, particularly if it's having, especially since COVID. If it's having something to do with medical experts, anybody that wants to call themselves a medical expert, it doesn't matter what it is. We always know better than them. That's what that's what that's kind of seems to be the messaging that I get for everyone. Um and it's been an interesting thing for me as a conservative because I'm not used to that. I'm not. I mean, we didn't place doctors on a pedestal, and there were times that we definitely did not agree with our doctors, but there just wasn't this view that they're out to just ruin our lives and control our lives, or whatever the fuck it is that they think that they're trying to do. I For some reason I am a two-time Trump supporter, evangelical Christian that just doesn't get the hate. It took years to get us to a place where we were okay with people being on medication. It did. It took a long time to get there. And we are better with that idea than what we were a decade ago. We really are. So I'm really I'm in some ways I'm kind of confused where the hate and distrust has come from. But I know that COVID did not help with it, with the shutdowns and the masking, excuse me, and the things of that nature. And sometimes I throughout it there was times that I kind of waffled on what to think because I thought I'm supposed to be able to trust the medical experts, right? Um, and it seemed like maybe some of them were somehow well-meaning. They were just wrong. And apparently, we have decided if you want us to take you seriously, you're never allowed to be wrong about anything. It's going to be like, well, that's it. You fooled me once. I'm not going to let you fool me again, kind of thing, I guess. But her response was, it's actually hard for me to pull it up because this my response to her got me blocked. And I will have to be honest and say that I didn't see that because I feel like there is a place here where we can kind of agree to disagree. And I didn't understand how it was that what I said meant that that she needed to block me. And the only thing that I can think of is there may have been, maybe there was some other issues going on. But I have to pull this up on a different account that I don't use very often because she blocked me. So, yeah. This was a response to a TikTok that I haven't bothered to listen to. But her initial tweet here was single, 38, 10 years of therapy. What's wrong with this picture? And a mutual of ours who I think hasn't blocked me yet. I don't think she's had any reason that I know of, to want to block me. We'll see. We'll see how long that lasts. Um, a mutual responded that apparently the therapy wasn't working. And Chandler replied with it was all about validating her independence, and now she's unhappy and probably zero chance of kids. Sad. Therapy ruins women. So we're Lady Low 579. She had a reason to, she had a much calmer response than what I did. I'm not sure that therapy ruins women, but the wrong therapist can. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Lady Law 579. That's the point that we're gonna be getting here in a little bit. But then somebody else kind of had an interesting response. Therapy ruins people unless you're seriously sick. But Lady Law probably did not get herself blocked for what she said. But my response certainly did. I read this and fucking want to throw my damn phone because it isn't fucking true that therapy ruins women. Apparently, my choice of language got me blocked. Maybe she thinks that I'm as bad as the woman in the TikTok video that they were being critical of. I haven't even I haven't even bothered to read it. But I want to go through kind of what she said. It was all about validating her independence, and now she's unhappy and probably zero chance getting kids. So let's break down just that part. It was all about validating her independence. When you go to therapy, you typically are going to discuss with your doctor what it is that you're running out of therapy. And, well, guess what? Something that they may have discussed is how she was handling singlehood and trying to be independent. I don't know. I'm just going to hypothesize here based on the fact that I haven't listened to this TikTok video. It's a woman. She appears to be putting on some makeup. She's talking into the camera. She's not having her best moment. at the moment. And it is in her weakest moment that she's being given a really hard time. And I decided that I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to give this woman a hard time in a moment when she's weak and obviously struggling. So there's that. And now she's unhappy and probably zero chance of kids. Sad. Zuih. Welcome to Rumble. And I'm trying to understand here, like, there is really this thing going on in the conservative movement about it being so fucking important that my womb is producing children. And I guess I don't know. I guess some of it. Weird's dude on cam. He's hot. Do I need to lower my voice just a little bit? Is that wait, is this deep enough for you now? Do I finally sound like I'm a man? Whatever. However you pronounce your name, Jiju, you're just trolling me, but welcome. Welcome to the show. Thank you for your views. Your views support the channel. Your random comments, whether they make sense or not, promote the channel. So thank you for helping the channel and the algorithm, even if you're just here to troll me. It's all good. So yeah, so there's, there's this whole thing about it being important that my womb is producing children, and like that's all I'm good for or something. I don't know. Like that should be the whole summation of my life. Like men can do multiple things. They can help make sure I get pregnant. They can be doctors and lawyers and whatever. But no. The most important thing and the only thing that I should be worrying about is whether or not my womb is producing children. I grew up in an evangelical family. I saw this idea a lot growing up in the 80s and the 90s. My family was not quite this bad, but I was surrounded by people that were obsessed with the idea of getting married, having kids. And I have seen firsthand that doesn't always have a good effect on people. It doesn't. There can be unfortunate things that happen as a result of that attitude. That attitude in and of itself can lead to depression. It can lead to thoughts of self-harm. It can lead to you not having fulfilling relationships because there's so much pressure and stress that you're not able to be there in the moment. You're not able to give that person the best version of yourself because you haven't learned how to deal with yourself. I've seen it hundreds of times. Now I'm not married. Does that mean that I bought into some feminist lie? This is another thing that I've been hearing. It's like any woman that's single, it's like she has automatically bought into some feminist lie. No. I always thought I was eventually going to get married and have kids. I just assumed that was the way it was going to happen for me. And For some reason, I'm now 42 years old, and at 35, I finally felt like, hey, people skinnier than me are getting married. People that are heavier than me are getting married and having kids. Um, so I couldn't figure out what it was that I had to change about myself to get all the available men out there to ask me to marry them. I couldn't I couldn't figure out what the secret was. I'm not a person that was ever big on makeup or anything like that. So when I did see myself wearing makeup, I was always like, who is this person? Like, this just doesn't look right. This doesn't look real. This looks fake. This is just not me. Um. So yeah. So I was never. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I needed to be willing to do that more or something. I don't know. Maybe I needed to be willing to put on makeup more and whatnot. It just wasn't me, and it wasn't who I am. And also you go through this. In my 20s, I did go to community college. Um, I did kind of get a little bit focused on, like, well, I got to figure out what I'm gonna do for a living here. And I don't know how much I cared, because I was really hoping that I was gonna get married. I was gonna have kids. I had some dates. Um, and I did not too long ago have a guy that I don't know why he would want me. I was I'm like 15 years, I don't know, at least 15 years older than him. He was pretty young, had some growing up to do. We'd become pretty good friends, but he shot his shot with me. But he wanted more of, like, a friends with benefits, and I'm not interested in a friends with benefits. I came from an evangelical Christian family, and I don't really attend church much anymore, but I still hold to some of those basic beliefs. And I figure, you know, I I want what I've seen my parents have. They were both virgins when they got married. My mother's parents, my grandfather may not have been a virgin when they got married. I don't know, but my dad's parents, they were virgins when they got married. My grandmother was really young. Grandpa was a little bit older than her, but not by much. And that was what I had bottled of, and I wanted that. But the interesting thing of it is that despite, like, my cousins and I all having two generations model healthy relationships for them, most of them are all divorced. Very few of them are happily married. Um, my one of my cousins, he recently filed divorce from his wife, and it turned out that she was possibly not as nice a person as what she thought I was, or what I thought she was. But one of the issues that she used to drive a wedge between the two of them was her struggle with infertility. Um, I don't know, she felt like, I'm supposed to get married, I'm supposed to have kids, and you're supposed to be the provider, and that's just the way that it's supposed to be, blah 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 blah. And so there was all this pressure on him, and then there was the bitterness and anger that she took out on him because of the fact that they didn't have kids. And I guess there was, like, even more than that kind of going on, but that was one of the most recent issues that came up. And you know, human relationships have evolved and they've changed. It wasn't that long ago that husbands and wives didn't sleep in the same bed together. Sometimes they didn't even sleep in the same room. There's old television shows where they show the spouses in the same room but separate beds. And that was apparently that was actually the case even in some households. You didn't necessarily even sleep in the same bed together. So a lot's changed in our relationships and what we want out of relationships and what we accept out of relationships. Just yeah, so a lot has changed. So I know it's kind of this kind of that it is this really interesting thing to me that we do kind of have this that there is this reinsurgence among uh on Twitter at least. Mind you, I don't find this in people online so much. I find it more in people. No, I don't find this in real life and people that I know real life. I find this issue more with people that I live on that I meet online. In the conservative sphere, there's this real big thing on more traditional values, and I think it's because we might feel like some of the things that we've done we've kind of gone too far in the other direction maybe with some things. Uh we're much more, hey, you want to have an abortion? Who am I to bother you? You want to sleep with a woman and you're a woman? You want a same-sex relationship? Well, okay, that's your business. And so today we struggle with drag queens in front of children. We have pushed to abort babies when they're well into the right to do it when they're close to their third when you're like in the third trimester, apparently. At least that's what the conservatives online always tell me. So, I think that people are maybe starting to feel like we've gone too far in the other direction. That's very, very possible. I don't know. It's just some thoughts that I've had. But the idea that it's sad, I'm not clear on what it is that's sad. She's never gonna have children, that's what's sad. Her independence is sad. She shouldn't have wanted any of those things, and that's what's sad. So I have to be dependent on a man for anything. If my husband goes out of town and something breaks down, am I not supposed to know how to handle that without him around? I don't. So I'm just confused. I'm confused on exactly what is sad in this situation. My life isn't sad because I'm single. You know what? The only person that doesn't judge me for the status of my womb, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I am worth more to him than the status of my womb. He loves me more than that. He didn't die for me because of my ability to have children. That's not what he cared about. That's not. He wanted a relationship with me. He loved me. So I don't know. So some of these people out there like Nash Walls, Remy Legal, you might not be enough for her. But for God, you are always enough. Don't let anybody take that from you. With Jesus, you are always, always enough. And don't allow these people to get into your head and tell you that your life just must be that you don't have a right to feel happy at all. You shouldn't be happy. You should be miserable. You should be wanting to crawl under a rock and die because you're over a certain age and you're still single. Unless you've spent a day in that person's shoes, you have no reason to judge them for being for the status of their womb, whether or not they've had a baby, whether or not they're 30 and they still haven't had children, whether or not they get to the age of 60 and they've never had children. I just know that all this bullshit, they're spying into a feminist life. That was never the case for me. That never had anything to do with why I was single. I always thought my life would turn out very differently, but it didn't. And so I had to learn how to navigate and figure out the fact that that wasn't my life and that was never going to be my life. But at the end of the day, the biggest, most important thing you can do for your mental health is ignore people like Remy when they tell you. It's just so sad. But let's talk about therapy. Let's talk about why therapy can be a good thing. Because her next problem was therapy ruins women. Because she wanted to accept her independence. She wanted the fact that she's single to be okay. She wanted to cope with the fact that she didn't have kids. I don't understand. For some reason, evangelical Christian my entire life here, and I'm really confused. But I googled some things a little bit here. Why is therapy good for you? So let's benefits of therapy for yourself, family, and relationships. I'm gonna share this tab here. And we're gonna go over it. And you know what? I'm gonna let you decide your feelings on the issue. Because this is not medical advice. I just want to make sure that I'm giving you some things here to think about and to ask yourself and to dig deeper about why you may feel the way you do about a particular situation. Because you have a right to feel, however you feel. When your therapy is right for you, you're not alone. Seeking help from a mental health expert is something many people consider, especially when facing significant crisis, dealing with an extended period of anxiety or depression, coping with a major life transition, dealing with complicated family dynamics, grappling with problems in a relationship, trying to manage addiction or substance abuse, wanting to make changes wanting to make changes for better mental and emotional health. Regardless of your reasons, therapy offers a broad array of benefits for all of us. We've partnered with Florida Blue to bring you this article on 6 types of therapy and the benefits of each. So, it's also important to, know what kind of therapy might be best for you. Different therapy you could possibly have. Different end goals. I've had multiple people in my family that if it was not for therapy, they'd probably be dead right now. So, I figure other people, you can say what you want to about therapy because everyone that I know has come has come out of therapy worse than what they went in. I had somebody that commented that to me. Everyone that I know, they come out of it worse than when they came in. The people that I know that came out worse than when they went in are people that are refusing to listen to what the therapist has to tell them. Time and time again, especially when it was couples therapy. And in the two situations that I'm aware of that I can think of clearly for sure, it was always the woman. They would try to tell the woman, hey, these are the problem areas that I am noticing. Here are some things that you could do to help handle this situation better based on the outcomes that you've told me you wanted to achieve. And oh my God, the idea that you would tell them that they needed to change something? How? How dare anybody tell them they needed to change anything? They would become very offended and tell their husband, you know what, this therapist just isn't working out. They're just, they don't know what they're talking about. And the therapist was never constantly hounding them either. The therapist would have suggestions for the man as well. And, therapist was just giving them different things that they could do to try and improve their communication, help them see things that they were going wrong, that they were doing wrong, areas that they could both improve. But if one of them doesn't want to accept that there's anything different that they need to do, you're gonna therapy is really one of those things you will get out of what you put into it. If that therapist is going to be trying to give you insights and advice and techniques to help with anger control, to help with time management or whatever, but you're not listening to them and you refuse to accept anything that they say, there's nothing that therapist can do for you. So, all right. So, benefits of talk therapy. So, we have here is used by psychiatrists, psychologists, and therapists. Talk therapy encourages open and honest dialogue about issues that cause you distress. Through your relationship with your therapist, you work to identify and understand how these stressors are impacting your life, plus develop strategies to manage the symptoms. If you're still on the fence about the benefits of talk therapy, consider this. About 75% of people who participate in talk therapy experience some benefit, according to the American Psychology Association. Now, I suppose you could make an argument here. Well, why should you trust the American Psychology Association? They've obviously got bias there. So, yeah, maybe it will be fair to say that, of course, the American Psychiatric Association is psychological association is going to tell you, hey, it's always good. That's possible. Benefits of individual therapy. In the case of individual therapy, the relationship between you and your therapist, which is fostered through talk therapy, is key to your success. Individual therapy gives you a safe space to explore your thoughts, feelings, and concerns. Unlike couples, family, or group therapy, individual therapy focuses solely on you. This allows for a deeper understanding of the issues and more time for developing coping strategies to help you handle difficult situations. The goal of individual therapy is to inspire change and improve the quality of life through self-awareness and self-exploration. Being in therapy can also help improve communication skills, help you feel empower you to develop fresh insights about your life, learn how to make healthier choices, develop coping strategies to manage stress. And I think that some people just kind of assume, well, I'm an adult. I don't need a psychiatrist to help me figure that out. Well, maybe. Maybe a therapist could just point out some things that it just never occurred to you before. Why is that so much out of the realm of a possibility? You know? Maybe you've been needing to have a difficult conversation with your son. But, for example, okay, I'm just throwing that there as a example. But you haven't been able to figure out how to do that. What is so wrong about someone who's not so close to the situation, like an aunt, an uncle, that doesn't have really any stake in the situation, that doesn't feel pressured to take sides, come alongside and telling you, well, this would be a good way of explaining the situation to them. What's what's wrong with that? We all go through points in our life where we need advice. And if you want to pay somebody to help you figure that out, that should be fucking your business. Nobody should be discouraging you, telling you that therapy is going to ruin your life. None of that. That is not my call to tell you whether or not therapy is will work for you. I think that there's a chance that it could. I think I see paths forward for it to help you. But I do feel that some of it has to do with what you are willing to put into it. But I can't go around judging people for deciding to have therapy. I can't bring myself to do that. If other people want to, that's fine. But if it's a family therapy, when families face hurdles that seem a bit too high to conquer on their own, they may seek help from a family therapist. Therapists can evaluate and treat mental and emotional disorders, evaluate and treat behavioral problems, address relationship issues within the context of the family system. Unlike individual therapy, treatment isn't just for one person, even if that's the only member of the family working with the therapist. Instead, the focus is on the set of the relationships that make up the family unit. Some of the most notable benefits of therapy include improving communication skills, providing help treating mental health concerns that impact the family unit, such as substance abuse, depression, or trauma, offering collaboration among family members, developing individual coping strategies, identifying ways to find healthy support. Benefits of couple therapy. Think couple therapy is only for people having problems. Think again. Marriage and family therapists are the first to say that couples therapy is an effective way to keep a relationship on track before it goes off the rails. But if the strains are real and communicating is almost impossible, going to therapy allows couples to meet with a neutral party. One of the foundational goals of couple therapy is learning how to improve interpersonal dynamics. A 2006 research review suggests that couples therapy is an effective treatment when a couple experience individual and relational stress. Couples take therapy for a variety of reasons. Some of the most common benefits cited by couples include improving communication skills, resolving conflict, restoring lost trust, increasing shared support, restoring intimacy, learning how to support each other through difficult times, forming a stronger bond. Benefits of cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a blend of two therapies, behavioral and cognitive. Therapists use the techniques to treat many conditions, including anxiety, bipolar, depression, eating disorders, substance abuse and addiction, obsessive compulsive disorder, phobias, post-traumatic stress disorder. And CPT, your therapist will guide the sessions with emphasis on the important role of thinking and how you feel and what you do. In terms of effectiveness, CPT has proven successful as a treatment option on its own or as a supplemental therapy to medication for several mental health conditions, including anxiety disorder, bipolar disorder, depression. A 2017 research review found that CPT has a positive impact for people living with bipolar disorder by reducing depression levels, reducing the severity of mania, decreasing the relapse rates or how often people experience mania depression, increasing psychosocial functioning, which means improving abilities and experience in day-to-day activities and relationships. A 2015 review reports that CBT is mostly consistently supported psychotherapeutic option for treating anxiety disorders. Then there's online therapy. A lot, and so basically, allows you to meet with therapists no matter where you live. So if you live out in the country, it's easier to find a qualified therapist by going online. If you're worried that online therapy not be as effective as the in-person kind, consider the result from the small 2014 study. Researchers found that internet-based treatment for depression was equally beneficial as face-to-face therapy. Over the phone and online therapy now will work for everyone in all situations, and it's often to try. Ways to find a therapist, because again, you could get a bad therapist. Well, like this one person said. That some of it they don't think that therapy ruins women. But the wrong type of therapist could. This is there are options with therapists on the phone, voice chat, and online. There are tips to find the right therapist for you, ways to find affordable therapy, tools to find resources and care near you, such as the NAMI helpline and Healthline's Find Care. If you're looking into therapy, another place to start is by talking with a general physician about getting a referral. Working with a psychologist, therapist, or counselor in a therapeutic relationship gives you an opportunity to explore your thoughts, feelings, and patterns of behavior. It also help you learn new coping skills and techniques to better manage daily stressors as if associated with your diagnosis. So here's some things about red flags to look for. They're not licensed, lack of specific experience, you don't feel comfortable, failure to set goals, not using evidence-based therapy, you're not involved in decision making, lack of availability, possessive cost. One thing that I think you should look out for is this person should understand and respect your faith approach to this, to whatever your situation is. I had a friend that didn't want to go to therapy for her marriage because she was convinced that the therapist would automatically tell her she needed to divorce her husband. And in my personal experience, if you're going to the doctor and you're telling them that your goal is to keep your marriage intact, they're going to try and do everything they can to help you with that goal. But if they're not able to respect whatever your core beliefs are about the sanctity of your marriage, then that is not the therapist for you. The only reason a therapist should be recommending divorce is if you are obviously in a very dangerous situation, or your kid's safety is going to be compromised if you stay with that husband or that wife. That's the only reason a therapist should really be suggesting, in my opinion, for you to get divorced. And my friend Angela was not in a situation where none of those things were an issue. They were just having a lot of conflict and they were just arguing about a lot of things and couldn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. And, a lot of, even in a lot of evangelical marriages, the marriage is a partnership. And, if it's constantly the husband telling you to jump and the woman's asking how high, it's it's gonna cause problems. It's gonna be stressful. Nobody wants to live in that kind of no one very few people want to live in that kind of relationship. I'm just saying. So that's kind of what I have to say about that. And more than anything, people, more than anything, do not allow anyone to judge, to make you feel guilty or unworthy or a failure as a woman, as a man, if you don't have kids. I don't know why this has become a thing. I don't know why this has become a thing that anyone is obsessed with. I have a female cousin that for some reason has decided she never wants children. Um I don't I don't know what she well, I don't know what she would do if she ended up pregnant. I don't know. I didn't ask. Kind of afraid to know the answer. But for some reason, my brother he also married a woman that decided she didn't want that was a very apparently very anti having babies, and that's a new thing for me. And until the last couple years, I didn't know too many women that didn't feel like their biological clock was ticking and that they were anxious to have babies. But it's kind of like what I said earlier about the family dynamics changing and how there was a time when husband and wife didn't share a bed. They slept in separate beds. They slept sometimes in different rooms. And nowadays we consider that rare. Like, why would you do that? And I haven't heard anything about how exactly that evolved and changed, but at some point it became okay for a husband and wife to sleep in the same bed together. So yeah. Let's do something a little more fun. I have not played a game in a while. And I find games to be a great stress reliever. They can be a lot of fun. There's this game called The Enchanted Cave that I've become just completely obsessed with. And in the best possible way, of course. I have a lot of fun with it. So we're gonna do that here.
double check here and see that you're hearing all of this okay. But I gotta get my stream pulled up here. It's gonna take it a minute. I found it a little bit interesting with StreamYard to try and share my sound. I don't know why. It's kind of now my screen is buffering. Oh well, it's all good. Let's see, do we have anything here? Unfortunately, there is nothing to craft this with. I don't have much money to buy anything. Like, I really needed better body armor. It's not even. See, with 27 cents. Oh, good. We got the wings right away. We want to go ahead and put that on. I want to try and get some cash here because we're definitely low on money. I'm also anxious to see if we're gonna find a forge soon. Because the forge will allow us to enchant things. Let's see if this is any better than what we got. Oh, no, it's not. Unless we enchant it, it's not going to be a... So we got 2 iron boots. That right there is something we want. Ooh, we're gonna want to go over there, but first let's get this. That's going to allow us, the magic pickaxe will allow us to destroy walls and reduce the amount of time that it gets to take sometimes. Let me show you some of the magic that we got. Ooh, we want that helmet. Well, this is the helmet that we currently have. So that's like our defense, I guess. Well, the defense is 42. It's kind of red. I guess we're better off staying where we're at right now. Eventually we'll get skill points and we'll be able to build out here and do different things. Let's take a health potion there. What's that? So that's what we currently have, which is defense 14. That's 5, so let's switch that out. Let's do fire. Okay, let's go ahead and go on. We don't necessarily have to try and get every treasure chest that we see. Ooh, we have forger, so we want to go ahead and use this because we got some stuff that we could. I don't know if we need to try to change that. Well, we got some things that we can do here to try and make our items stronger. So we can try and enchant them. So okay, so yeah, we click here, we click on enchant. Then we can go to what we have here. So we got 2 of these. Got 2 of those. And so now we've enhanced different aspects here. And we're gonna go ahead and do this again. Got that. And we're gonna go ahead and use that again. Oh shoot, I made a potion. I didn't enchant it. Fuck. Okay. I think I accidentally made a potion, I think. No, maybe I didn't. No, never mind. It was a different number. Okay, well maybe I did it. I don't know. Get myself confused. See if that's better. So that's defense, magic. See, the red means that it's really. I believe the red means that's not really all that impressive. This, in some ways, is better. So we're gonna. I don't know. We're gonna switch. Ooh, we want to go there. We found a different door that we can go into. We don't have to necessarily go to the first door that we see. know. Skill points are available, so let's look at skill points. Let's see. Let's. Hopefully that gives us some improvement there. I think I'm gonna have no choice but to use the wings here, or I'm not gonna make it. Yeah, I gotta use the wings, but I might, if I use the wings, I think I might keep my money. Let's go in here and see what happened. Yeah, I kept my money. Yeah, no idea what freaking good thing this is. Yeah, I'm going. How much can I sell this for? Let's see what we actually have here. We can sell that one as well. We don't need additional work crew. We'll hang on to that. It could come in handy. I'm gonna go ahead and sell that. This is what we want. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. I think I'm interested in enchanting some of this stuff. A little bit more than what they already are. This is wanting to do a potion instead, which is weird, but that's what we'll do, I guess. Excuse me. Coughing like crazy. That's weird. It's not seeming to work. Okay, well, we'll come back to that, I guess. Oh, we're about to die here. Okay. Well, that really sucks. And I didn't have the wings. Tell you what, floor 20 gets hard. But I bet I'm not gonna have that money anymore. Oh no, see I do. Woohoo. think that this is actually where I am going to call it a night. For those of you who did join, thank you so much. I hope others will see this and they will find this fascinating and interesting. God bless you all, and you have a wonderful night.